Hello, today we have a video. Civilization restart. Let's get right into it. So the first thing that we're going to see is that these provinces are going to get their freedom. Not this island though. Basically, Israel agrees to give Somalia independence, which I've decided to make turquoise. So basically, Israel has decided to give Somalia independence, which I've made them turquoise, but only on the one condition that they get to keep this tiny bit of land. So Somalia can't just take all the African. They need some land in Africa, and they get to keep this island. And the only other condition was that they also had to be an aristocracy. Don't know why. So yeah, those are the only conditions for it, and obviously Somalia is going to agree to that. Do just quickly need to fix up the borders because when I do colour them in terms of provinces, it's going to leave with those marks. So while I do that, I'll cut to when I'm finished. Alright, so I've fixed it all up now. I probably don't need the ideological map on right now, or the capital city province one. But, so we're going to see that. Alright, well, we're going to see that Brittany and Normandy are discovered by Greece, who's close to Rome at this point. And they tried to go up, but the Andes Mountains are kind of there, so can't really venture that far. So we see that they don't actually claim this land. I mean, they claim up to. Okay. We see that they kind of claim up to Brittany, but apart from that, this is where they realize they shouldn't just be taking all the lands they explored, and should just kind of try and focus on exploring and taking this advice. We're going to see that a group of Turkish explorers are just going to go up, but in a diagonal way. They didn't realize it, but they went diagonal and they discovered Kaliningrad. And obviously, the blue team wants to get this, so they push a bit of land upwards. They go that to cut anyone else off. But they also just claim all of the territory up here. It's another exclave, just like the Crimea originally was. So while these kind of forces and everyone's kind of just exploring over here in Greece, we see that the actual Greece breaks away, and I don't really know what colour to make this, so let's make it purple. But yeah, Greece breaks away, and we see that first it's just these guys. And by the time that the aid gets over, Greece has expanded way upwards. And I'm going to assemble this with the county map. So they've taken over oh my gosh. Let's use this one. They've taken over all of these counties. And now they've gone up. And they also, with the help of the blue team, discover way more upwards. They help blue team discover a bit more outwards. Blue team takes this extra land outwards. And they kind of just stretch up. And now they're in territory that pink team doesn't know, and that's not very good in war when you don't really know the territory, because it's pretty bad. So the forces get down and they see success in invading down to the south to try and get near the capital. But when going up into the north, they claim some of this land so that Greece can attack them. And they make a bit of a push, but like they just kind of instantly get kicked out, and their forces are just kind of dying there. Which means they send up more forces, mean they lose their front down here. And they like start to trickle in, because like once they take this, it'll be smooth sailing is what they tell themselves. So they start to trickle in. But Greece just knows the terrain well enough to where they can't really do anything. So now that we've while Rome is kind of fighting over here, and they discover a bit into the Alps, whatever, Brittany takes this chance to go up into this island that they kind of found, and they explore up to there, and they kind of help this land break away. And we see that they're like a dark red, you know? And I fixed this, it was just because I used the attacking colour, but that was the original colour. And we see that, after helping England break free, France itself breaks free from Rome, and they also start to kind of capture some of this, and Iberia, would join, they would just be like, oh yeah, we should join, let's get our revenge. But they would just kind of be up in a war, but they're in no condition to, fight at the moment, because, they just kind of got out of a war. So we just see that, France is the only one who is fighting on this front. And they make some, pretty good gains, seeing as all the forces are over here in Greece. And what is happening here? Alright, sorry if I sound a bit different or whatever, I just had to take a break, I had to quickly do something, so I'll just continue from where I think I was. And, basically, what we see happen, why am I on purple? Is that a few more, counties are taken, and eventually we see these borders, come to fruition with Brittany. With the Greeks, we see that this is the situation that they end up in. And, now I'm just gonna do, the, official nation thing. Alright, so in this official peace treaty, we see that, the teams basically get whatever land they conquered. So these are the official borders of the French team now. We have Rome, which is what I'm going to call it now, because this is the new Greece. They get a new, exclave there. And, all that. And also, Greece became official publicist. They became an aristocracy, no publicism included. They became a monarch. But I just wanted to say, you may be thinking, oh, why did Greece, rebel? Because this was, a publicist group. Not publicist, they were following publicism. And they were kind of listening to the public eye. So they rebelled, all of their things were being met. But basically, because it was the capital, that's where it was located, they found some information which basically showed in the government building, which they hadn't moved at this point, that they were skewing the results, when they were talking to people, when they were asking, oh, do you want to go, do you want to discover some new land? They would ask people who they knew would want to. So, yeah, that's kind of why they rebelled. But now if we turn on the province map, we see that Brittany's capital is, France's capital is up here. We have, on, the Cornwall, Devon area is the capital for English team, because I felt like putting it there. I didn't really want to copy Real World. I don't really like doing that. Can't think of any monsters. But, anyway. So, yeah, I put it down. We got Rome as their new capital of, Rome is what I'm going to be calling them now. And Greece just keeps the capital. The reason the blue team helped Greece win this war was because Greece basically told them that they could, not only, after the war was war was finished, they could take some of like this land that they had ventured and then connect up to the exclave. But also Greece basically promised them these counties. And like Putin couldn't refuse this. So yeah. That's kinda why. And yeah. That kinda happened. But anyway, now with all that, we don't really need those on now. So we see that like western like Latvia is like discovered, and a bit of it is claimed by Turkey. Because, you know, they were just like adventuring north. Like this like all of these events that are gonna happen with like other countries happened like during the war that was happening. I just didn't want to do them at the same time. And speaking of things that happened, we see that modern day UAE is discovered. And along with UAE being discovered, we also see that like the Caspia kind of travels far enough down to where they get to like the Pakistan and like the, you know, like Indian areas. And for the moment, the Lime team, Caspia, isn't going to take too much land from this because they realize they probably shouldn't be taking all the land that they're discovering. But yeah, they finally reach India, which is like big, I guess. But yeah, and other big things, we see that the Alps are finally conquered by Rome. They, like, during the war, they were preparing to conquer this, and they finally did that. For the English team, we see that southern Wales is discovered, and up to here is discovered, and then fully Wales, and then, like, kind of like that's what's discovered, in which England, not getting the memo about not claiming all of the land you discover, took it all immediately. And, you know, then Brittany continues on, like, explores, like, France, gets, like, all of modern-day France, basically. And they also stretch up into, like, the Netherlands, and, you know, just so that Rome can't take their land, they just pull that. I mean, they don't do that exactly, they just kind of do, like, something looking like that. And because they're 1, 2, 3 countries, you know, that's what they kind of do around here. We're going to use this colour, and this is going to be the Dutch team, as they also give them their independence. And yeah, that's kind of what happens. Along with this discovery, we see that, like, with the help of Rome and, like, Turkey and, like, Netherlands, you know, like, France, whatever, we see that all of, like, this mainland Europe bit, like, all of Germany is discovered. And, like, south of Denmark, in which we see some of this land, we see some of this land get carved up. So yeah, France gets this land. You know, like, Netherlands gets this land. Turkey gets, like, stretches over. Because, you know, they're kind of looking for an Ottoman Empire-esque here. Purple team, they're going to get, like, all of this. And seeing as Rome just kind of got beat up and nobody really likes Rome at the moment, they're barely going to expand, like, outwards of the current borders. But yeah, that's kind of all just settled there, and then just that land's kind of left there. And yeah, I think that's really all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hope you all, like, you know, enjoyed. And Goodbye.